Hello everyone, and welcome to Zen Breathe Light. Today, we have a wonderful story about discovering your strengths and how dedicated practice can lead to success. It's a tale that reminds us we all have unique talents, and with the right mindset, we can excel at anything we set our minds to. Once, in a small, peaceful town, lived a family in a quiet corner of the city. This family had a 12-year-old boy named David, who was in the 6th grade. David was an energetic kid who loved playing outdoors, and his favorite activity was soccer. Almost every day, David would head out to the nearby public field, where he honed his skills. One afternoon, after coming home from school, David slumped onto the couch, looking deep in thought. He opened a school book, stared at it, and then leaned back with a dissatisfied look on his face. His father, noticing this unusual behavior, sat beside him and asked what was bothering him. David explained that he had received a poor grade in math, but what truly upset him was that his friend Matt always scored high, no matter how hard David tried. Hearing this, David's father got him a glass of water. Once David had relaxed, his father took him to their small backyard garden. "David," he began, "I want you to understand 3 important lessons. You will learn each lesson through a challenge." David, intrigued, asked his father to explain. "For the first lesson," his father said, "I want you to invite Matt to play soccer with you tomorrow." David nodded, eager to find out more. The next afternoon, David invited Matt for a soccer game. As usual, David, who played soccer almost every day, dominated the match, scoring 3 goals and leading his team to a big victory. Meanwhile, Matt, who wasn't familiar with soccer, struggled. Afterward, David hurried to his father. "Dad, I played soccer with Matt today. What's the first lesson?" His father smiled and said, "Tell me how the game went." David described everything, from his goals to Matt's struggles. His father nodded and said, "Look, David, Matt may not be good at soccer, but he's great at math. Just like how you might struggle with math but excel at soccer. We're all different, and that's okay. We each have our own strengths." David felt a wave of understanding wash over him. "For the second lesson," his father continued, "I want you to pay close attention to Matt tomorrow at school. Keep track of how often you see him working with numbers." The next day, David observed Matt and noticed how often he was engaged in math-related task-solving puzzles, calculating change, and even counting petals on a flower. He reported his findings to his father that evening. "That's the second lesson, David," his father said. "Matt is good at math because he enjoys it and practices it often. If you want to get better at something, you have to keep practicing, just like you do with soccer." Finally, David asked about the third lesson. "For the last lesson," his father said, "I want you to think about how much better Matt is at math compared to you." David replied, "I think he's about 3 times better." "All right," his father said. "For the last challenge, I want you to study math 3 times harder tomorrow." The next day, David sat down to study math. After an hour, he pushed through for 2 more hours, but before he could finish, his head started to throb and he fell asleep. Feeling disappointed, he met his father in the garden. "I'm sorry, Dad," he said. "I couldn't complete the challenge. I studied so much that my head hurt." His father gently patted his head and said, "David, this is what happens when you try to master something you don't enjoy. It's hard to stay disciplined, but when you do something you love, discipline feels much lighter, just like with soccer. So, if you want to become an expert at something, either study what you love or learn to love what you're studying." David, filled with admiration for his father's wisdom, promised to carry these 3 important lessons with him for the rest of his life. We hope you enjoyed this story and the lessons within it. Remember to practice what you love and find love in what you practice. Thank you for joining us today on Zen Breathe Light. If you liked this story, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. See you in the next story.